Have you ever met someone who seemed too good to be true? The kind of person who sweeps you off your feet, promising you the world, only for you to discover it was all a beautifully crafted illusion? Today I'm sharing a story that's a powerful reminder that sometimes the shiniest things hide the darkest secrets. This is the story of Ama Donkor. Ama was the picture of grace, a respected teacher in Kumasi, known for her calm demeanor and quiet beauty. For 5 years, she'd been with Kojo Mensah, a man as steady and reliable as the ground beneath her feet. He was honest, hard-working, and her parents absolutely adored him. He may not bring you the world, they'd say, but he will help you build one. Ama believed them. She valued Kojo's dependability and saw a future with him. But a ghost from her past was about to reappear and turn her entire world upside down. His name was Eddie Larby, and he was returning from the UK. If Kojo was a steady flame, Eddie was a wildfire. He was tall, charming, and possessed a confidence that could disarm anyone. Ama remembered him from secondary school. He was the senior who had secretly penned her anonymous love letters, a romantic mystery she'd never solved. Now, years later, he was back, successful, polished, and exuding an irresistible magnetism. He saw Ama, and just like that, the chase began again. Eddie was a master of his craft. He didn't just flirt, he listened. He praised her intelligence, admired her ambitions, and made a promise that resonated deep within her. "I'll treat you like the queen you deserve to be." Suddenly, Kojo's quiet, gentle love felt dull, predictable. Eddie's thrilling presence made her question everything. Her parents warned her, "Be careful, Ama. All that glitters is not gold." Her best friend pleaded with her, seeing the red flags she was too blinded by charm to notice. But Ama was captivated. She started with secret phone calls, then emotional meetings. Soon she was completely entangled in Eddie's web. The slow, steady dance she had with Kojo faded into a distant memory. Within a few short months, she broke Kojo's heart, ended their 5-year relationship, and found herself ecstatically planning a wedding, not to the man who would help her build a world, but to the man who promised her one. Marrying Eddie felt like stepping into a fairy tale. They moved into a lavish apartment with stunning city views, took spontaneous trips to exotic destinations, and became the couple everyone envied. Ama's social media was a gallery of happiness, a highlight reel of a perfect life. But fairy tales often have a dark forest, and Ama was about to get lost in it. The first cracks appeared subtly. Eddie would take secretive phone calls late at night, his voice dropping to a whisper. Strange women's names would flash on his phone screen, which he'd casually dismiss as just work contacts, sweetheart. His charm slowly morphed into control. He started suggesting what she should wear, subtly steering her away from certain friends, and questioning her spending, even though he was the one who encouraged a life of luxury. He framed it all as care. "I just want you to be respected," he'd say. When Ama's unease grew and she tried to question him, he'd laugh it off, pull her into a hug, and kiss her forehead. "You think too much, sweetheart," he'd murmur, his touch turning her doubts into whispers. But those whispers never truly went away. The illusion shattered one cold night. Eddie was away on another one of his frequent business trips. An odd feeling, a nagging intuition she could no longer ignore, led Ama to a picture frame hanging in their study. Something was off about it. Her hands trembling, she took it down and found an envelope taped to the back. Her heart pounded in her chest as she opened it. Inside, she found a stack of fake passports, all with Eddie's picture but different names. There was a large amount of foreign currency and a small collection of photos. Her breath hitched. The photos showed Eddie smiling with another woman, who was visibly pregnant. In that single devastating moment, the loving wife in Ama vanished, and a detective was born. The shock gave way to a cold, determined focus. She spent the next few days digging, connecting the dots she had ignored for so long. She found bank statements and documents hidden in his office files. The truth was worse than she could have imagined. Eddie was part of a criminal network involved in illegal international businesses. And the beautiful life he had given her? It was funded by crime, and he was using her good name and her bank accounts to launder the money. She was not his queen. She was his cover. She was still reeling, trying to figure out her next move, when she heard the key in the front door. Eddie was home early. He walked in, saw the open envelope on the table, the passports, the photos, and the look of horror on her face. He didn't panic. He didn't shout. He simply smiled. It was a cold, empty smile that sent a wave of pure terror through her. He walked slowly toward her and whispered, his voice dangerously calm, "You should have stayed the quiet, sweet girl I married. Now you know too much." That was it. The mask was completely off. The man she loved wasn't just a cheater. He was a monster. Adrenaline surged through her. She didn't think. She just ran. Barefoot and terrified, she bolted out of the apartment, clutching nothing but her handbag with her ID and a few cedis inside. She ran through the night, every shadow a threat, until she reached the one safe place she had left, her parents' home. Trembling and sobbing, she collapsed into their arms and confessed everything. Her parents, heartbroken but resolute, didn't say, "I told you so." They simply held her, and together they went to the police. With Amma's testimony and the evidence she'd found, an investigation was launched. Weeks later, Eddie was arrested at the airport, trying to flee the country with his accomplice, the pregnant woman from the photographs who was not a victim, but his fiancée and partner in crime. The newspapers had a field day, splashing his face across the front page. They called him the gentleman fraudster. The aftermath was brutal. Amma lost everything: her home, her savings, her reputation. The public shame was a heavy cloak she couldn't seem to shake off. Her confidence was shattered, and her trust in her own judgment was gone. But Amma was a survivor. With the unwavering support of her family, professional therapy, and her faith, she slowly, painfully, began to rebuild her life from the ashes. She returned to teaching, finding solace in the simple, honest world of her classroom. Years passed. The scars began to fade, replaced by a quiet strength. One afternoon, at a local market, she ran into Kojo. He wasn't the boy she'd left behind, but a mature, self-assured man. There was no bitterness in his eyes, only a gentle concern. He asked how she was doing. Amma offered a small, soft smile. "I'm still learning," she replied, her voice steady. "But at least now I know. Not every rose smells sweet, and not every fire is warmth." She had learned the hardest way that true value isn't found in flashy promises, but in quiet, steadfast love. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this journey with me. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more stories that make us think and feel. Take care and see you in the next one.